कि हर महिलाओं को जो भी दिक्कत होती थी इतना मतलब खर्चे नहीं मतलब उठा पाते थे, तो उनके खर्चे के लिए यहाँ से मतलब मिले हैं 2100 रुपये मिलने लग रहे हैं। तो जो उन्होंने वादा किया था वो पूरा किया।
हाँ सुनो पाओ बेटा।
कितने रुपये देते हैं अभी?
1100।
महिलाओं के आर्थिक सशक्तिकरण की दिशा में एक ऐतिहासिक कदम उठाते हुए हरियाणा सरकार द्वारा दीनदयाल लाडो लक्ष्मी योजना की शुरुआत की गई है, जिसके तहत गरीब महिलाओं को आगामी 1 नवंबर 2025 से 2100 रुपए मासिक आर्थिक सहायता प्रदान की जा रही है। 10 फरवरी 2026 को दीनदयाल लाडो लक्ष्मी योजना के तहत 9,22,452 महिला लाभार्थियों के बैंक खातों में सीधे 193 करोड़ रुपए ट्रांसफर किए गए। अब तक इस योजना के तहत 4 किस्तों में कुल 634 करोड़ रुपए जारी किए जा चुके हैं।
1100 रुपए जो पर महीने महिलाओं को देती है सरकार, उससे आपको काफी मदद मिलती है।
हाँ मदद मिलती है बेटा।
पंडित दीनदयाल उपाध्याय की 109वीं जयंती के मौके पर 25 सितंबर 2025 को लॉन्च किए गए दीनदयाल लाडो लक्ष्मी मोबाइल ऐप के जरिए 10,51,029 महिलाओं ने आवेदन किया। इनमें से 9,22,452 महिलाएं पात्र पाई गयी। फरवरी 2026 से हर महीने 1100 रुपए सीधे लाभार्थी के बचत बैंक खाते में जमा किए जा रहे हैं, जबकि 1,000 रुपए सरकार द्वारा चलाए जाने वाले फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट अकाउंट में रखे जाएंगे।
हर घर हर गृहिणी योजना के तहत गैस सिलेंडर रिफिल करवाने वाली हमारी लगभग 12,62,000 बहनों के बैंक खाते, जो गैस का सिलेंडर है उनको 500 रुपये में मिलेगा, ऊपर की राशि उनके खाते में पहुंचाई जाएगी। हमने दीनदयाल लाडो लक्ष्मी योजना आज तक 9,22,452 हमारी लाभार्थी बहनें, उनके खातों में 193 करोड़ रुपए की राशि आज पहुंचाई गई है।
महिलाओं के जीवन स्तर में सुधार लाने के लिए हरियाणा की सैनी सरकार वो हर कदम उठा रही है, जिससे हरियाणा की बेटियों को हर कोने में सम्मान मिले।
Was the supreme leader. Now we have another supreme leader. Where is this heading? What is your understanding of this?
Well, only God and President Trump knew when the war would begin. And maybe only God and President Trump know when it will end. But a more rational understanding of what has happened and what is likely to happen, I think it can safely say that President Trump will not want to end the war before he can declare some form of victory. The costs of not being able to do so are very high for him, domestically, internationally, and the credibility of his whole administration and of his whole term in office actually now rests on the outcome of this war. So the stakes are not only high for him, but also for the rest of the world. It is about as dangerous a game of brinkmanship as we could have imagined at this time of the century. How then would he define victory? He has to show the people of America and everyone else who is interested a very what could be believed in terms of an American achievement. So far, in what now has become 10 days of war, the initial American euphoria at the success of the assassination of Ayatollah Khomeini has been tempered by the reality that Iranians have proved that they are not a pushover. They have actually taken some very significant successes. They have achieved some very significant successes. American bases, their THAAD missile systems, their radars, American compounds, embassy compounds, and so on and so forth. We have the $20,000 Iranian drone has shown itself capable of fighting against $1 million or $3 million interceptor, far more expensive missiles. The Iranian missiles have also proved to be more accurate than I think the analysts thought they would. Israel has been repeatedly hit, which means that the much vaunted Iron Dome has been proved to be porous. Iran has not fully deployed its supplementary resources. The Houthis still have not entered the war. So I think they've also taken some shall we say, measures to ensure that they don't run out of steam. But realistically, what could Washington define as a victory? There is a island just off the Iranian coast in the Persian Gulf, Kharg Island. It is the oil hub of Iran. That's from there their supplies go into the well-known narrow Hormuz Strait, which is very vulnerable to attack and which, as you know, controls 20% of world's energy supplies from Qatar, from the Gulf, and so on and so forth. Everybody knows what. If the Americans, I think President Trump himself has said that he's not ready for an eternal war, he's not ready for a multi-year war, and boots on the ground is not on the agenda. But I suspect that you might hear more about Kharg Island, because that is where the Americans could put boots on the ground in order to capture that island, declare that to be sufficient as a victory, say that they have a parallel operational base in the very sensitive Persian Gulf, right? And say that, all right, our war objectives have been achieved. The initial war objective was, as was mentioned by the White House, the initial war was regime change. They have realized that regime change was not possible. They changed that to a regime adjustment. Even that did not go as per their expectations, because the Iranians have now selected Mustafa Khamenei as their supreme leader, who is not on the approved list of the White House. And I say approved list advisedly, because President Trump himself has said that he would like one of his chosen few to be selected. So having gone that, now they have to find a third definition of victory. And I suspect that this could be something that is being examined carefully by the Pentagon right now.
Because President Trump kept the Iranian military has been wiped out, and then he again claimed that if needed, will go further. According to your assessment, what is the positioning America is trying to do in this regard? Since they have been making statements, but the war turns out to be not like the way America perceived it. What's your understanding, sir?
You know, when the ground shifts beneath your feet, you have to shift also in order to remain steady. So the shifting patterns of American war objectives prove also that they have to now readjust to new realities that have emerged from the conflict. And when I mentioned Kharg Island, it was, I was actually putting in place a potential new reality as a war objective. As I said, the cost of simply walking away from an unresolved conflict would be a price too high in political terms for President Trump.
Talking about the end game for this Israel and Iran, what is your understanding where it will reach? Because Oman, other GCC countries, will there be a ceasefire also, you think, in near future?
It's part of the same answer. The determination of the end or ceasefire is in the hands of America. Even Israel really is not in a position to quote unquote persuade. It is President Trump who will define when this fire will cease or pause. The Arab nations of the Gulf are collateral damage. The Iranians did mention before the war began that if anything happened to the Imam, then all American allies would also have to pay a price. So they made it very clear, and the price today is evident in the destabilization and the fact that the most important, the most valuable targets and bases of America are being hit. And there is debris which is now affecting the regions. Inevitably, so far at least there is no evidence that the Iranians have tried to target civilian areas. But as I said, there are no certainties in war, and collateral damage is can't be ruled out.
Another challenge I wanted to talk about is, of course, the supply chain and also the pressure on the oil prices. Now we are witnessing the impact of this conflict over here. Strait of Hormuz, many ships are also stranded. What could be the consequence for India as well? What's your reading regarding this aspect, and what's the bailout? Because if economically it can jeopardize going ahead, so what is the bailout for India in that way?
India is like the rest of the world, vulnerable to any choke in the energy supply lines. Our LNG comes from Qatar, primarily. So if the Strait of Hormuz is closed for Qatar shipping, as it is just now, then obviously there will be an impact on availability, and I'm sure the government is fully aware of the potential crisis. And the first great energy crisis was after the OPEC raised their prices in 1972. And in 1973, the economy of the world was badly affected. It had to readjust to a new price levels and so on. Indian economy is very badly hurt, and the impact was visible on the Indian street. When people who were hurt by the economy, it brings out all sorts of other problems and frustrations, and people came out on the street. This time around, I believe that the Indian economy is far more resilient. The Indian government is far more prepared, but that doesn't mean that we can escape pain. There will be pain. It will test our resilience, but I'm quite certain that there will not be any long-term damage to Indian.
Talking about the region, Shehbaz Sharif also made a statement in Pakistan that they're going to go for cost cutting, and they have to rationalize.
I refuse to hyphenate India with Pakistan. And please don't do that. Pakistan is a fragile jelly state. It's an artificial state. It is a concocted state. Right? It has not had a legitimate government. It is at the moment being run by autocrats in uniform and dictators in uniform. Right? Who will try and the army, which will try and squeeze savings everywhere except in the army. Right? Their lifestyle will never be challenged, and their power will never be feared. Let Pakistan worry about itself. Pakistan is, as I said, a fragile jelly state. It keeps quivering all the time. And its ability to bear the consequences, not merely of energy prices, but of potential job losses in the Gulf. It doesn't have an economy which is capable of, so it will bleed.
One more aspect I wanted to talk about is, of course, but when this crisis updated, when this conflict even started, beyond the statement, there was no action. Do you have your doubts on the multilateralism as well?
Why do you mention the United Nations? It's an important body. It has become impotent because it has not reformed. The United Nations was relevant in 1946, 47, 48, 49, 50, maybe through the 50s. Since then, the 5 victors of World War II cannot run the world permanently, as if the world hasn't changed from 1950 onwards. So to discuss the United Nations is a waste of camera time, your time and my time.